Today on Capechi's Corner, we're going to multiply polynomials, and this is day 1. One thing to remember is when you are multiplying polynomials, you are adding the exponents when the base is the same. So for instance, if I have y to the 4th times y to the 5th, the base is the same, it's both y, so we're simply going to add the exponents. 4 plus 5 gives us 9, so our final answer is y to the 9th. So in number 1, we're going to multiply a monomial 3x times the trinomial 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. So we just have to make sure that we are distributing that 3x. So 3x times 2x squared gives me 6x to the 3rd. Remember, we're going to multiply the coefficients, and when we're looking at our exponents, we're going to add them. So 3x times negative 5x gives me negative 15x to the 2nd. And then I have 3x times 3, which gives me positive 9x. And number 2, I have to be careful with that negative sign in front. So I have negative 3x squared times 7x squared gives me negative 21x to the 4th. Negative 3x squared times negative x gives me positive 3x to the 3rd. And then negative 3x squared times 4 gives me negative 12x to the 2nd power. In our next set of problems, we're going to simplify the expression. So we're going to have to distribute to get rid of the parentheses, and then we're going to combine our like terms. So in number 1, I have x times 3x to the 2nd gives me 3x to the 3rd. X times 4 gives me positive 4x. Now looking at that other expression, I have plus 2 times 7x gives me 14x, and then 2 times negative 3 gives me negative 6. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have 3x to the 3rd. I don't have any terms that are to the 2nd power. So when looking at the first power, 4x plus 14x gives me 18x. And then I have my minus 6. So that's my final answer. 3x to the 3rd plus 18x minus 6. Let's look at number 2. I have 2p times negative 4p to the 2nd power, which gives me negative 8p to the 3rd. And then 2p times 5p gives me plus 10p to the 2nd. Minus 5 times 2p to the 2nd gives me minus 10p to the 2nd. And then minus 5 times 20 gives me negative 100. I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have negative 8p to the 3rd. This 10p squared and negative 10p squared, they're going to zero out. So then my final answer is just negative 8p to the 3rd minus 100. In our last problems for today, we're going to actually solve. So remember, the word solve in math means to get the variable by itself. So for instance, x is equal to a number or y is equal to a number. In number 1, we're using the variable d. So in the end, I need d is equal to a specific value. So let's start to distribute. D times d gives me d to the 2nd. D times 3 gives me plus 3d. I have negative d times d gives me a minus d squared. Negative d times 4 gives me plus 4d is equal to, now on the right hand side I don't have any parentheses, so I just have to rewrite what I have, 9d minus 16. Here's my wall, so I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have d to the 2nd minus d to the 2nd, so that's 0 out. And I have 3d and 4d, that gives me 7d is equal to 9d minus 16. Since I already have my variable on the left hand side, I'm going to bring that negative 9d to the other side, and I have negative 2d is equal to negative 16. Divide both sides by negative 2, so the value for d is equal to 8. Let's look at number 2. So again, I'm going to distribute, so I have x times x gives me x to the 2nd, x times 3 gives me positive 3x. Again, x times x gives me x to the 2nd, x times negative 6 gives me negative 6x, plus 35. Is equal to, do the same thing on the right hand side. X times x gives me x to the 2nd minus 5x. And then I have x times x again is x to the 2nd plus 7x. There are a lot of terms here, so I have to be careful when I'm combining them. So first I'm going to look at the left hand side right here. So I have x squared plus x squared gives me 2x squared. And then I have, so I took care of this term, that term, and I have x to the 1st. I have 3x minus 6x gives me negative 3x, and my constant is 35. Let's look at the other side. I have x to the 2nd plus x to the 2nd, which gives me 2x to the 2nd, and then I have negative 5x and positive 7x, which gives me positive 2x. There's my wall. Now, my general rule is when you have x to the second power, you're going to try to bring everything to one side and see if you can factor it, but we haven't gotten to factoring yet. So let's just see what happens. I realize that I have 2x squared and 2x squared. The coefficient is the same. So when I bring that 2x squared to the other side by subtracting it, that actually zeroes out. So now I have something that I know how to use. So I have negative 3x plus 35 is equal to 2x. Again, there's my wall. So I'm going to add the 3x to the other side, so all my variables are on the same side. So I have 35 is equal to 5x. Divide both sides by 5, and x has a value of 7.